Hello everyone and welcome to the IGTL World Series, a slightly different race and competition that you've never seen before really. In terms of IGTL normally do one-off special events, this is the World Series. There is a chance to win money in this competition, and as you can see we have a 12-car grid. So the way it works is you have to qualify first. You qualify in a different day, and then if you make top 12 you get into the race. So you can see here I'm in the girl racing livery Camaro, the Camaro here at Bathurst. So we're going to kick off with the race. We're starting in P3 behind Ed and Adam. Adam's actually in pole position there. It's just the way the Bathurst lines up. And what we're actually going to do is jump straight to the TV cameras, because just check this out. We have an absolutely superb first corner. Look at this, side by side through turn one. We haven't done a race practice before, by the way, and everybody nails it first time. Superb driving standards. As we jump back to myself in this Playboy car, it's hilarious livery. I had to look for one again. Of course, it's like a meme livery for me now. You can see now we're just going side by side with Ed. I sort of realise at this point I'm going to get left hang out to dry basically, and you can see that here I'm just running wide. I'm having to really drop off the pace, and Nico's actually going to overtake me here as well. Good little play there, just staying on the inside. I could have tried to go for bumper drafting, but I didn't want to do that. I kind of like just racing flat out. Now in this race we have ×1 fuel and ×1 tyres, and you'll notice we're already at half fuel there. So the fuel is set at a certain level, so it forces us to pit. However, we can all do different strategies. So if I'm being held up, for example, I might want to undercut, or I might want to overcut if the guy in front of me goes for the pit, and I go, okay, well I can do 2 extra laps, flat out, hammer time, and see if I can actually overcut the driver. It actually presents really good strategic driving, and I really enjoy that. And that's what me and John must looked at for the FIA races as well. However, that's still not happening there, so we get to enjoy this IGTL World Series. You can see TRL Adam in the lead at the moment. Obviously, Adam is so good in road cars, literally one of, if not the best GT sport player in road cars at the moment. Like literally you can get in them and just fly straight off the bat. It's incredible. We then have Force UAB, who's Ed. If you didn't know who Ed was, that is Force UAB. We then have Nico and myself, Quinton behind me, DJ, Felix and Callum. As I say, we all had to qualify. I'm not sure how many qualifying or how many people tried to qualify. Definitely over 20, so the top 12 made it. So you're wondering, what about all the other positions in the lobby? Well, we have 2 stewards, we have a commentator, and we have somebody else. I can't remember who it was. We have 2 commentators, I can't remember. But even so, literally, they're the remaining spots. So 12 drivers, and then the rest are stewards. So the stewards will hand out live penalties during the race if any contact happens. If you have contact and you give the place back, they don't give penalties for that. Obviously, mistakes happen. It is what it is. If you get a slowdown during the race, you have to take that slowdown very quickly, and you'll get warned about doing that. So that's the first lap. You just saw that there. I'm just losing the front 3 there slightly, and that's because I didn't practice very much, as I normally do obviously, with full fuel. I'd obviously practiced a little bit for quali. I'd done about 20 laps in qualifying trim, which was no fuel or tyre wear. So obviously later on in the race when we get to low fuel, I should then be fine. As you see that, I just clipped the wall there. That's not very good, but I'm just in that slipstream range, so I am surviving. And that's actually not helping Adam very much, to be honest, because obviously we're all staying in there. Nico just cut the dipper there, just on the left. Now you can do that just in a Group 3 car. In these Camaros it's much easier to do, and you can see that 1.5 second penalty. So just as I said earlier, you have to take the penalties, the slowdown penalties, within 30 seconds. So at this moment I know I'm going to have to, I will get past Nico. I then have to try and remain in Ed's slipstream, otherwise I'm going to lose that and potentially come under threat from Quinton, DJ and Nico, because Nico's obviously going to take that penalty and fall in behind me. So we're just coming into the chase area here. And you can see we've got to brake really early in these cars. And these cars are actually really fun to drive, believe it or not. And even though we've been line astern here for 4 laps, it was really fun to race, because I'm on the limit constantly. I'm trying to work out this car. Where can I gain an extra 10th or 2 tenths? It was really nice to drive. And really, it was awesome to drive, actually. Because I'm on the edge, I'm on the limit. This is the kind of racing I like, where, you know, I don't have to think about tyre wear being on times 400 and worry about it. Now, you see chap just behind my head there appear. That's Nico being warned he has to take his penalty. So what you're going to see Nico do now is actually take that penalty and try and work out how to get the slowdown. So you start seeing him slow off a little bit here, and then he'll go ghost, of course, because that's what happens when you have a penalty. You can see he goes to the right hand side. Now he's starting to take that penalty. It's slowly coming down. We're going to get past here. Are we going to be in Ed's slipstream still? We are. We're just in there, 1.1 seconds behind. We just survived, but we're going to try and stay in it. Remember, we were struggling a little bit at the start of this race because the fuel was so much higher, and I hadn't practiced with the fuel being so much higher. as we now advance a little bit further on lap number 11. So there's a big jump there in the race, and you can see I've caught up a lot here. So I do have the fastest lap, which shows that obviously as the quali trim came in, we had 19.0, 19.0, 19.1, all good laps as we jump to this TV camera. Obviously, you know I love this camera. You can look at this livery a bit more there. Oh, the meme livery. I always go for meme liveries if I can in a bit of a fun environment like this as we head over the mountain now. And you can see Nico has completely dropped off. So after that penalty, Quinton and Nico had a little bit of an incident. I'm not sure fully what happened, but Nico dropped to 4 seconds behind, which meant top 3 here were basically on for the win. Now, one thing I haven't told you yet is that this actually doesn't decide money. This decides whether you make the main event, the Group 3 series. Top 2 make the Group 3 series. Otherwise, there are 5 more rounds where I can attempt to get in. But you can only do a maximum of 3 races of those 6. You've got to pick out which races you're going to be strong at. I picked this one, for example, because it's quite it's going to be quite low population wise, because a lot of people are saving themselves for a little bit easier challenges. This was a very hard challenge. The Camaro understeered a lot, the weight shifted a lot. As I say, you've got to brake really early. We did see that quite a lot earlier on in this video, and you can see that I'm just right behind Ed. So I just have to make one position here and then I am in. But let's jump now, because we're going to head towards the pits, of course. I was always going to come in the pits on this lap, but then everybody in front of me decides to do it. So I'm like, what can I do now? Because I need to try and jump Ed here, somehow jump Ed. So we all jump in. First thing, we're not going to change tyres. That obviously costs time. You can see we all came in with 5% fuel there. Although it says 4% on mine. Whatever. So I'm actually thinking here, should I underfill? And that is what I'm actually going to do. I've not fast forwarded this for this very reason, because I want you to look at the left-hand side now. You see Adam, you can see Ed there, Force UAB. I fill 33. Adam does 31. Ed does 34. Now, 34 does get you to the end. 33 nearly gets you to the end. 31 definitely doesn't get you to the end. And I noticed that. And, of course, typical me and Ed, we come out inside each other out the pits. It always happens. If you go back to a video ages and ages ago, me and Ed came out inside each other, and PD and Gran Turismo decided to push us into the barrier. Even so, we are racing now, and we're right behind Ed at this point. So I know Adam's got to save fuel here. I definitely know that. I 100% know that. When it's times 1 fuel, it's really hard to save fuel, because that times 1, obviously, the amount of laps that fuel gives you is actually a lot longer than, say, times 10, where if you do short shift, you're actually saving potentially 10 laps of fuel rather than potentially 0.1 lap of a fuel. So I know Adam has to save here. We're right behind. We're still in the slipstream of Adam. We're right behind Ed here. So we've got every opportunity here of getting in that top 2. Let's see what happens as we go over the mountain here, as we're just losing a little bit there to Ed into this left-hander. I found that if you lift it slightly there and just balance the throttle here, it was always good. You can see there we gained a little bit on Ed as you go into this downhill section. So this was all about chucking it in. Notice how Ed does that 4-wheel drift there. Just gets it slightly wrong into here, which cost us a lot of time behind Adam here. As we continue out there, we're right behind Ed now. Look how close we are. This is superb stuff as we go down towards this left-hander for its elbow here. And it was a difficult choice of gear for that corner. 2nd or 3rd gear worked. Obviously, there's a delay between 2nd and 3rd gear changing, so sometimes I'll be in 1st, sometimes I'll be in 2nd. But does Ed have the slipstream of Adam? The answer is no. You can see Ed there losing out, so here we go. It's going to be side by side into the chase. Are we going to survive, first of all? As into the right-hander we go, and into the brakes. Look at it, still side by side. I wasn't giving this up very easily. Into the left. We're still side by side. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen 2 cars survive like that? It was unbelievable racing. You can see how happy I am in the bottom left. I was absolutely thrilled with that kind of racing. This is what I love about these kind of custom league events. It's superb clean driving, and the action's still frantic and chaotic, which is why we have the Community Championship. It's also why we're in this IGTL World Series. So you see Ed just had the advantage there as we head towards turn 1 again. Now we're out the slipstream of Adam up ahead. We really shouldn't be fighting that hard, but hey, we all love a good race, so let's carry on racing. Because obviously, if Adam has to save a lot of fuel, he would have caught up to Adam. But no, we're going to fight here. You see Ed goes defensive straight off the bat here. So I'm then looking towards the left-hand side here. Can I get any move done? You saw on lap 1 that this doesn't really work. It never really works in any scenario. So I just back out of it here. Hope that Ed goes deep. He goes a little bit deep, but brings it back. Slow on the apex there, and then through we go. So we're not going to gain a position at this moment in time there. You see Adam has bolted for now. But we'll see if we can catch Adam later on. Obviously, we do need to start working together here to try and catch up to Adam there. So let's advance a bit further on in the race now, as we jump to lap 14, and you can see we have gained a lot on Adam already. That's how much Adam had to save fuel. He had to save fuel constantly, as we then are going over the mountain again. You can see the bouncing of the throttle there. That's what you have to do in these road cars, any road car, is it's all about maintaining speed. So the less you brake, the more you can carry the speed, the better you are through the corners and overall lap time. So into the right-hander we go. And then the left, and Ed was risking that with their cut there. I was playing that really safe, that corner. I didn't want the 1.5 second penalty. You saw how costly it was to Nico, who has caught up to us a little bit during the pit stops and the action between me and Ed as we come through the left-hander now. And Ed just clipped the barrier there. That's never good. You see we're in third gear here, accelerating it down. Now this is a huge straight, this. So lots of slipstream potential here. I don't think we're close enough to go for the move. We're just a bit too far away here as we head up to the end of the sector. Now we are going to just do a little bit of staying behind, really push Ed into any sort of mistake. You see he brakes too late there, way too late. Going to go way too deep here, and we're going to cut up on the inside. So he manages to survive that just, but we get P2 there. P2, happy days. We're in a position now to qualify, which is all very well and good. You see we're 2.5 seconds behind Adam. So even though me and Ed have been fighting, we're still only 2.5 seconds off Adam. So you can see how much Adam is having to save fuel here. Really is having to save a lot. And Ed's dropped down to a second behind me. See chat appear again, so that's obviously the stewards doing their work there, giving people penalties, warnings for action that is happening on circuit. What we're going to do now, going to advance a little bit further ahead, because obviously Eddie's still in my slipstream. So he's going to get very close here, isn't he? So you can see 4 tenths behind me. We're still 2.5 seconds behind Adam. So as we head towards the chase now. What is going to happen this time? Into the braking zone, we brake. If you look down at that radar, Ed is catching us very, very fast. And we survive for now. But look how much he catches up to us there. So the reason for that is because we've not had slipstream, unlike the other times, we actually broke a little bit early. So I have to go defensive here into the left-hander. I'll stick it in the middle of the road. Ed can't really go anywhere, similar to what Ed did earlier on. And happy days, we keep that position for now. But Ed is all over our trumpet here as we head towards the line. You can see the lap times have literally dipped off because we are fighting. We are fighting like crazy. And then into the left-hander. And you see Adam makes a mistake there up ahead. And through we go. So that's, by the way, the gear change is why we're staying third for that first corner. You're probably going, why are you staying so low in the revs? It's literally that change of gear affects you all down the straight, because obviously you're going to lift off, change gear, go to this stop. So you can see we're very borderline with fuel there. So we head towards the right hander. I know I should have this corner covered here. Ed tries to do what I did earlier on, realizes he's going to get hung out to dry, and we keep that position. So we carry on at lap 16. We've only got a few to go. Can we survive? We go defensive into this left-hander. We just keep it tight here. That's all we're going to do, and we know we keep that position. See Ed right up our trumpet. Honestly, this is brilliant racing. This is the kind of racing I loved. I just have to place the car in the perfect place. You can actually see on the left-hand side how much sweat was happening, or I was creating basically, because this was an intense race, really intense race. Let's jump to the TV camera again. I love these TV cameras, you know that. That's why it's in every video as we go over the hill here, or mountain. If I say hill, all the Australians will probably try and hunt me down, but we go over the mountain now, and we start to head down it into the braking zone. Look at that four-wheel drift there. It looks very nice indeed. Into the braking zone. It was just a little bit deep there. See how you can easily get that penalty there. We didn't get a penalty that time, of course. Otherwise, I would actually show you on the point of view camera. And into the braking zone we go. Oh, a little bit wide there, a little bit deep. We pull it back a little bit as we accelerate through there. But you see Eddie's very close to us here. So potentially a move on the card for Ed, as we are going to jump straight back to the point of view camera. We have to jump back to the point of view camera as we accelerate now again towards the chase, and Ed is 2 tenths behind us, very close, just not quite close enough to go for that move, I don't think. Into the braking zone we go. See Ed has released the brake a little bit there, and just a slight tap which nudges me off slightly, but Ed realizes the mistake, lets me go again. Good clean driving. The stewards would have seen that, said okay, yeah. While Tidge lost time to Adam, Ed did give it back. Slight mistake. There's no need for a penalty there. Let's keep the racing happening. Into the braking zone we go. Look how close Ed is again. 2 tenths. 2 tenths. I have to try and survive 2 more laps of this, basically. 2 more laps. Can I survive? As we continue on, you see Ed, look how close Ed is. It's brilliant racing as we head towards the last corner now. Again, just keeping it in the middle, slowing it down. You see Adam is not pulling away, still having to save that fuel, and we are literally just stopping it on apex here. Look at the times compared to earlier, low 19s. We're in the 20s now, and 21 on the previous lap. Obviously we've just reduced that slight knock. Into the left hander we go, and we actually do a superb first corner. One of the best of the race that we did there. You'll see we accelerate away from Ed here. This is perfect, absolutely perfect, because obviously now we can defend all the way up the mountain. As long as we stay to the right hand side here, we can defend all the way up the mountain. Ed's not catching us that much here, so we are going to commit towards the left hand side of the circuit and start to brake there. So we're not as tight as we should be. And look at Ed there. Ed runs a little bit deep because of that slipstream and staying tight as well. So we survive that little bit up the mountain we go again. Just got to survive this. You can see the fuel flashing red there. Getting very tense indeed this race. Remember, first and second qualify for the main championship where prize money is on offer. Now, if you do want to enter this competition, make sure you check out the IGTL World Series stuff. I'll put it in the description. Make sure you check out LZR Lewis, or LZR_Lewis on Twitter, who is the main organizer. IGTL are obviously organizing it as a whole. And basically, you need A+ as your driver rating, and you can get involved. You just join a qualifying session and you give it a shot. And believe it or not, qualifying happens tonight, which is Thursday the 23rd. So if you want to get involved, it's Spa and the Audi R18, I believe. But I say, go check out that sort of stuff in the descriptions below. We're heading down the hill now. Oh, mountain. Sorry, Australians. Mountain. Into left-hander, and through we go. And Ed is very close to us here. Look at that, 3 tenths of a second. I know a move is going to happen here. So I've now got to try and pick or place my car in a where it's, you know, I can defend and also try and keep the position. So as I head now towards the chase, I decided I'm going to keep it on the left here. Now, Ed doesn't catch up as much as I thought he would do here, but I keep it on the left. And I try and lift off here and go around, and I just misjudge it slightly, and I touch the grass and I brake and I pleb it. I've absolutely plebbed it. Oh dear. And now I'm going to use a load of fuel trying to get out of here, because obviously I'm in the gravel. Obviously all this is using fuel. You can see I'm hitting the limiter there. Not good stuff at all. Yeah, I plebbed it, unfortunately. So I just misjudged it slightly. I did let off, but the car didn't turn as much as I wanted it to. I wanted to stick to the left, and it didn't work. Let's have a look at the replay of that, though. You can see TV camera now as we come in. We should have just turned a bit more to the right. We don't. We just, look at that, half a car's width of a mistake, and we go plebbing to Narnia. Look at that. Off to Narnia we went, and unfortunately, that means we do not qualify. But where are we going to come in this race? Because obviously the race is not over. Where are we going to come in this race in terms of positions? We come out here in P4. Are we going to get absolutely nuked by P5 and P6? Let's advance a bit further on. No, we're not. We're staying in P4 here, or are we? Because look at our fuel, 0 laps remaining. And they are 1.5 seconds behind. And there we go, we run out of fuel. It's tick down time. It's tick down, and we just keep P4. We do indeed. But an awesome race. I say a bit line stone at the beginning, but it was still fun to try and maintain that pace and keep up with Adam, Ed, and Nico. Second half of the race, a brilliant race with Ed. Absolutely brilliant. We both had one critical mistake there. Fortunately, mine was more critical, but even so, it was bloody good fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Something slightly different, of course. There's another video on the screen if you want to watch that. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. Lots more videos to come on the channel, a lot more guides to come as well. IGTL stuff down below. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.